Yeah, good morning, my dear boys. Good morning, my dear students. Good morning to all of you. Okay, for today's discussion, I will start the class today. Okay, hope you all are comfortable. Today I am handling class from our department. Okay, I put some external camera in our desktop and I am handling. Hope the audio is clear, the video also visible to you. Okay, now I will project the material for today class and discuss. Okay, this one. Good. Uh, so for today's discussion, yeah. Last class, I told you pure shear. Okay, at a point in a strained body, at a point in a infinitesimal element, pure shear was acting. Okay, how to develop these transformation equations in order to get the stresses induced in some other oblique plane. Okay, both the normal and the shear stresses, tangential stresses induced in the any oblique plane that we have seen. First, we have seen at a point subject to uniaxial state of stress in x direction alone, and then biaxial state of stress in x and y direction, which are normal stress, only normal stress alone, not accompanied by any shear. That is why it was a principal stress. Okay. So at a point, if the principal stress sigma 1 and sigma 2 act along x and y direction, how to determine? We have seen how to develop transformation equation in order to get the stresses in any oblique plane, okay, which makes some angle with the that of the given plane, right? So that kind of derivation and certain problems we have seen. Today I am going to discuss a case of very important case, very important case. At a point in a strained body, at a point, the normal and tangential stresses are given. That is normal and tangential. If I say tangential or shear, both are one and the same. In a strained body, at a point, the normal and the tangential stresses are given. How to determine the stresses induced in some other oblique plane? That we are going to see today, right? So here, we have a infinitesimal element, a strained body at a point. We have an infinitesimal element here. In this book, Banzhal, it is given as sigma 1 and sigma 2. Strictly speaking, we are supposed to use that notation sigma 1 and sigma 2 to represent principal stresses. Okay, that is why what I want to suggest here is, instead of using sigma 1 here, please all of you listen carefully, use sigma x here, right? This is x direction, no? So the stresses, normal stresses acting in the direction of x, take it as sigma suffix x instead of sigma 1. Here, sigma suffix y, okay, sigma y. So hereafter I will be telling wherever sigma 1 comes, I will be telling sigma x. Wherever sigma 2 comes, I will be telling sigma y. Don't get confused. There is a valid reason for it, why I am telling that way. If you refer any international standard book like Poppo, Timoshenko and all, this is the notation, what I am telling you. This is the notation used in that textbook, a very excellent book, that Mechanics of Materials by Timoshenko and Geer. In that book, this chapter, what I am discussing, this derivation is very beautifully explained with the appropriate notations, with international standard notations. Okay, so I want to follow the same, because sigma 1 and sigma 2, we are using it to represent normal stresses, principal stresses, that will not be accompanied by any shear. But here, the strained body at a point along the edges of infinitesimal element, both normal and tangential stresses are given. Okay, that is why I don't want to use the notation for principal stress sigma 1. I want to use sigma x and sigma y here. Similarly, here it is given tau. Okay, so see here, firstly you have to take this phase, this phase. It should be a clockwise one. Okay, this is given as anti-clockwise. This phase and top and bottom phase will be given as anti-clockwise rotation. So this way you have to choose. You should not change this arrow. You have to be very careful. Actually, strictly speaking, this is the first arrow we are getting. This is the first arrow we are getting. It is anti-clockwise positive. Okay, and then complementary shear we are getting in the clockwise direction. These two arrows we are drawing that manner. So this way, this is the positive sign of representing the direction of the shear arrow, the tangential stress arrows. So that keep it in mind. Okay, whatever I am telling, all of basic fundamentals, because right now, instead of tau, if you refer any international standard textbook, they have used tau xy. What is meant by tau suffix xy? Tau suffix xy. What is tau suffix xy means? If you say tau suffix xy, the shear stress is acting on a plane which is perpendicular to x-axis and acting in the direction of y. That is the meaning of it. If I say tau xy here, the shear stress is lying on a plane which is perpendicular to x-axis, that is tau x, and then y, xy. No, it is acting in the direction of y. That is the meaning. Here I am supposed to use the notation tau yx. Okay, tau yx means the shear stress is acting on a plane which is perpendicular to y-axis. It is acting in the direction of x. Okay, tau yx. But it has been already proved. It is well established that this tau xy is equal to it's a complementary shear. No, that is why tau xy is equal to tau yx. Both are one and the same. So throughout all these four, I can use the notation tau suffix xy instead of simply using tau alone here. This is the international standard notation. Many international standard books, this is the notation you adopted. That is why I want to use here tau suffix xy, sigma x, and sigma y. Okay, so you watch carefully. Accordingly, you watch it. Here, the resultant forces are given here. Okay, so they have taken some oblique plane which makes angle theta degree with that of the given plane. Actually, this is actually given plane. Although we are considering an infinitesimal element, this vertical plane, the principal plane, this is the not a principal plane, the given plane. Okay, in which normal and tangential stresses are acting, normal and shear stresses are acting. Okay, so this is the way of representing. Okay, with the given plane, the oblique plane makes an angle theta here. Okay, so this is oblique plane in which we are interested in determining the normal as well as shear stresses. What will be the magnitude? For that, we are going to derive a equation called a transformation equation. Okay, by using that equation, you can determine normal and tangential stresses in any other oblique plane, which makes an angle theta degree with that of the given plane. That is the meaning of it, right? So this is the resolution of Pn. Okay, the total force normal to the oblique plane. The total force acting along the normal plane is termed as P suffix T. This is P suffix N. Okay, I will come to that. Here, it is written given as P suffix 1. Okay, take it as P suffix x. Okay, x direction, no. So x direction, P suffix x is equal to sigma x. I already told you, instead of sigma 1, use the notation sigma x. Sigma x into BC into 1. The thickness of this element perpendicular to the monitor is unity, or perpendicular to the book, the page of the book is unity. Perpendicular to the paper is unity. I already told you. That way you have to assume this element, right? So P1, the total force acting in the horizontal direction is the stress acting, sigma x into BC into 1. Okay. Similarly, the P suffix y. Okay. The force acting in the direction of y, P suffix y is equal to sigma 2 into FB, this area, this distance. Okay, this FB, not fully AB, only FB only, this distance alone. That into 1. Okay, that is the force. Similarly, its component are pointed out here. Where are they? Yeah, you can resolve it. It's theta. With reference to this figure, you can do all these things. Similarly, Q is represented to this QX. Okay, you may get confused. Q sin theta, and then they resolved this shear also. Okay, instead of doing it this way, straight away we can write. If I am doing it on the board, I can explain neatly this one. Okay, 1 minute, if you don't mind. Just 1 minute, ma. Just somebody has come. Just where is that? 1 minute. I am available now. Yeah. Okay. Now, see here. Actually, my notes is there. I have a nice notes for it. I would have scanned it, but it is written on a full scale paper. That is very old one. So if I have each page, I have to scan twice by covering top and covering bottom. Okay, that is why I have not. Okay, I will explain here itself whether you understand or not. all these expressions are you go through, not necessary. Okay, I will tell you in a simplified way. Instead of explaining in this way, I will tell you in a straight away in a simplified way. I will explain here. So what is given here? I want to determine the total force acting in the direction of n. The total force acting in the direction of n, normal to the oblique plane, which is P1 cos theta plus P2 sin theta plus Q1 sin theta plus Q2 cos theta. If you substitute, I will this step straight away you can write down. This step straight away by referring the figure. This step straight away you can write down instead of writing all the story above, all the above stories. Straight away you can write Pn, the total force acting normal to the inclined plane, oblique plane is equal to sigma x into that surface, that plane PZ, BC, okay, into cos theta. Into 1 is there, that is not right, into cos theta. Why? Its resolution is cos theta, I will show you later. Plus sigma 2 FB, okay, sigma 2 instead of sigma 2, you have to use sigma y FB into sin theta plus tau BC sin theta plus tau FB cos theta. How? I will explain here. That step straight away you can write by referring the figure. How? You have to resolve all the forces in the direction of normal to the inclined plane. See, I am resolving this force. This force is, what is this force? Sigma 1 into BC. Okay, this is acting in this direction, right? Which makes angle theta with the normal to the oblique plane. So cos theta, if you resolve it, I am getting away from the section, cos theta. Next is this P2. This P2, if I resolve it, I am again getting away from the section. Okay, this is sigma 2, that is sigma y FB into what is the angle made? This one. If you want to resolve this one in this direction, okay, if you want to resolve in this direction, it is sin theta, because this is theta. This is 90 minus theta. If I resolve in this direction, which it becomes, because this is theta. Okay, this angle is theta. If you resolve this along the inclined plane, cos theta. If you resolve this component normal to the inclined plane, it becomes sin theta. That's why sin theta we have seen. Okay, and then you take this shear force. This shear force, what is the total shear force here? Tau xy, okay, tau suffix xy into BC, okay, which is acting this direction, which is acting in this direction. If you want to resolve it along perpendicular, this is shear, perpendicular to this, it will become sin theta. Okay, so tau xy BC sin theta, you can see that. And then this tau xy into FB, okay, which is, it will be like this, into cos theta. If you resolve normal to the inclined plane, you got to refer this. See, the shear forces towards right, no, it refer this arrow. If you resolve it normal to the inclined plane, cos theta. Okay, so straight away with reference to that figure, you can write down this step. Okay, where is that step? Where is that one? No. Straight away referring to that figure, you can write down them. Right? This one. This step you can write Pn is equal to sigma 1 BC cos theta plus sigma, that is sigma x BC cos theta, sigma y FB sin theta, tau xy BC sin theta plus tau xy FB cos theta. This you can straight away write by referring that figure. I am doing it on the board now. It is easily I can explain you. Here apply your mind later. Just you know resolution of force. You are very thorough. Already you have studied engineering mechanics. By this time, you are supposed to be thorough with resolution of forces, how to resolve forces along any desired direction, in the required direction. Okay, here you have to resolve the forces along normal to the oblique plane, and along the oblique plane, you have to resolve them. Okay, that you are familiar. It's simple geometry. Hope you will follow, right? So therefore, similarly, PT also can be written. The forces acting tangential to the oblique plane is given by straight away you can write this step by referring to that figure. Sigma x BC sin theta minus sigma y FB cos theta minus tau xy BC cos theta plus tau xy FB sin theta. How? I will explain with reference to that figure. Straight away you can write down this step PT is equal to this. You can write down by referring that figure without writing all the story written in the textbook, because it is explanatory. That's why so many explanations are there. But you have to present your answer in a brisk way, okay, during exam. Only the necessary steps you got to, because you understood that simply referring this kind of figure, you can do it. This figure style also you can change it if you want. even twice, thrice you can draw this figure for separate cases. Okay, it is up to you. The way of presentation you have to enhance. Okay, right. So how to resolve this along the inclined plane? I have this P1, no, sigma x BC. Okay, sigma x BC is the force. If I want to resolve it along the inclined plane, sine theta. Okay, so sigma x BC, if I resolve it, sine theta. Okay, because theta is defined here. If I resolve along the inclined plane, sine theta, I am getting upward. Wherever I get upward, I have to put it with the positive sign. In case the force is downward along the inclined plane, I have to write it with the negative sign. That is the sign convention I have to adopt. Next, I am coming to this one, sigma y FB. Okay, if I resolve, I am getting down. That's why minus sigma y FB cos theta. Because theta is defined here. Refer this figure later. Okay. Similarly, I am coming to this tau now. Tau is here. Tau xy BC. Is it downward like this component, like this component. If I want to resolve it, I am getting downward. If I resolve it, I am getting this shear. If I resolve along the inclined plane, I am getting downward. So minus tau xy BC cos theta. Okay. Next, I am coming to this tau xy. This tau xy. This tau xy, which is acting this edge, that required to be resolved along the inclined plane. To represent that, I can refer this direction. This direction I can refer to represent this shear. This direction I can refer. Okay. If I resolve it like this, it becomes sine theta. Okay. So I'm getting upward plus sigma plus tau xy FB sine theta. Easily you can do it by applying your mind. That is the engineering. You are doing engineering course. You are not doing ordinary course. Okay. You should be capable of. Excuse me. Few minutes. An important phone. Yeah. Hello? Yeah. Actually, I got a call from VIT Chennai. It's okay. Good. So that's what I was telling. Right? Is it audible? Rahul?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
my presentation is available, visible? Slide visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, I have in the college net. No, not phone net. Oh, that's why it's not got disturbed. So it's okay.
Everything visible. No problem.
Okay, Rahul. Rahul? Yeah, now I will continue. See here. Yeah, that's what I told you. Yeah, it's here. Right. This way, you can straight away write this Pn as well as Pt. Forces acting normal to the all the resolution of all the forces acting normal to the oblique plane, resolution of all the forces acting tangential, that is parallel to the inclined plane, tangential to the inclined plane. Okay, this way this Pn and Pt can be written straight away by referring that figure. Then you have to come to sigma n. Okay, the stress is nothing but the total force acting normal to the inclined plane divided by area of the inclined plane. Area of the inclined plane is F into 1. Okay, Fc into 1. It's written here, Fc into 1. Area of the inclined plane is because Fc, Fc into 1. So I am substituting this fully. I am writing the Pn force, whatever you have determined, that is written here. Okay, that divided by Fc. Now I am writing this is sigma x, this Bc by Fc. Likewise, we are writing cos theta plus sigma y Fb by Fc into sin theta plus tau xy, this Bc by Fc into sin theta plus tau xy Fb by Fc into cos theta. Okay, which is equal to, if you refer figure, what is BC by FC, what is the BF by FC, what is BC by FCC, you will be getting cos theta, sin theta and all. If you refer that right angle triangle here. Refer this right angle triangle here, suppose FB by FC, adjacent side by hypotenuse, So cos theta, here, theta is defined here. Okay, FB by FC, with reference to this theta, opposite the hypotenuse, sin theta. Likewise, you have to substitute. Okay, we be careful with the theta. Where the theta is defined, there accordingly you have to write sin theta and cos theta. Okay, so if you write down cos theta, sin theta and all, if you write down, because in triangle FBC, BC by, it is given here, FC is equal to cos theta and FB by FC is equal to sin theta given. So accordingly we are substituting. So we are getting sigma 1 cos square theta plus sigma 2 sin square theta plus 2 tau xy. I already told you to use sigma x, sigma x cos square theta plus sigma y sin square theta plus 2 tau xy cos theta sin theta. Okay, so this can be written, cos square theta can be written as 1 plus cos theta divided by 2. This trigonometry already you studied, you are already aware of all those things. The explanation also given here. How? It is the explanation also given here. Sigma 2, instead of writing sin square theta, write down 1 minus cos theta divided by 2 plus 2 cos theta sin theta is nothing but sin 2 theta. Tau xy sin 2 theta. Okay, that is the final formula. Therefore, which is equal to sigma, this can be rewritten again. Okay, sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 cos 2 theta plus tau xy sin 2 theta. Which one? Sigma n is equal to this one. Put it in a box. This is the final transformation equation. Okay, put it in a box. This should be put in a box. Sigma n is equal to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 into cos 2 theta plus tau xy sin 2 theta. Okay, this is the final formula, transformation equation, called a transformation equation. Using that equation, using this expression, you can determine the normal stress acting in any other inclined plane. That is the meaning of it, right? Next, in tangential stress, I am writing. Tangential stress sigma t, that is shear stress or tangential stress sigma t is equal to total tangential force along the FC divided by area of the FC, okay? Which is P suffix t into divided by FC, okay? That is equal to, already you got this PT, okay? I told you, how do you get it? Straight away, okay? By referring the figure, you can write down this expression. So that you substitute here, divided by FC. So as I told you earlier, write down BC by FC, FB by BFC. Likewise, you write down. Refer the triangle. Okay, BC by FC. What is this? Is sin theta, cos theta. Find out. Write down. Okay, because it is given in triangle. How do you get all these things? So you are getting sigma 1 minus sigma 2 cos theta sin theta. Finally, if you simplify this, minus tau xy, that is sigma x minus sigma y cos theta sin theta minus tau xy cos square theta plus tau xy sin square theta. Likewise, you are getting. It is further simplified as like this: sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 into 2 cos theta sin theta, because 2 is introduced here. Here 2 divided by 2. Okay, minus tau xy. Tau xy you can take it commonly out. That's why it is cos square theta minus sin square theta. It becomes like this. So just I am writing. Okay, rearranging this. I am writing this way. From this I have rearranged and written this way. Okay, go through. Let's really go through, or try to write. Already I advised you. Write down your own notes. Right. Put a notebook for mechanics of materials, and you have to write down your own notes. There is no any other go. In this age, as a student, you have to work hard. No any other go, because we didn't come just like that. We also, once upon a time, I worked hard like anything. And nobody knows the hard work which I have put up. Okay, when I was a student during 86 to 92, from 86, 87, 88, okay, 89, 90, 91, 92, I worked hard like anything during my college days. Then night I studied. That is why I am enjoying this position. I would have gone to still better position, but myself put into this position. No problem, right? Smoothly everything going comfortable, right? So it is up to us, right? So this way you have to do hard work, and easy only. You have to, please, I advise you to rewrite as I am telling, the way in which I am telling, right? So next, it's continuity, right? Its continuity is here. Yeah, which is equal to, finally, it is rewritten as sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 sin 2 theta minus tau xy cos 2 theta. Okay, because cos square theta minus sin square theta is equal to 2 cos 2 theta. Okay, so this equation becomes, so you write here sigma t is equal to, you have to put it in a box, this one, put it in a box here. Sigma t is equal to sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 sin 2 theta minus tau xy cos 2 theta. Okay, this is called a transformation equation. That equation and this equation both are called a transformation equation for normal and tangential stresses. Using those equations, you can determine the stresses induced in any other oblique plane which makes some angle theta with that of the given plane. That is the meaning of it. Now we are going to do some discussion. Okay, some analysis or discussion I am going to do. I want to determine the position of principal planes. What is maybe position of principal planes? Now, using these transformation equations, you can determine the stresses, normal and tangential stresses induced any other oblique plane. Okay, it means the given plane. Just imagine the given plane. You are keeping on rotating the given plane. Okay, you are considering other plane just by rotating the plane. Okay, accordingly, the normal and tangential stresses keep on changing in that rotating plane. Okay. So, in any other oblique plane means what? The given plane is like this. You are considering some other plane in this position. You are considering some other plane in this position, in this position, in this position, in this position. Like that, you are keep on rotating. Okay, according to the theta value varies. By substituting the corresponding theta value, you can compute the normal and tangential stress acting on that oblique plane. Okay. Now, there is a plane at one position of the oblique plane. You will be getting only normal stress. There will not be, it will not be accompanied by any shear stress. That plane is called principal plane. You have to determine, you have to locate that plane, and you have to determine the magnitude of principal stresses in that plane. Those planes will be two mutually perpendicular planes. The oblique plane you are rotating, at one position, the plane will be, the stress in the plane will be only normal stress. There will not be any shear stress. That too, that will be the maximum value of normal stress. Okay, that is why that plane is called major principal plane. The stress acting on that plane is called major principal stress. Okay, there is it will be also another oblique plane. Another diagonal plane. Orthogonal plane. Okay, right angle plane. Now another orthogonal plane or right angle plane. You will be having normal stress whose magnitude will be less. That is called minor principal plane. The stress is called minor principal stress. Okay, so major principal plane, minor principal plane, major principal stress, minor principal stress. You will be getting that you have to locate. Okay, location of principal plane. I would say position of principal plane or location of principal plane. I am going to locate principal plane. How do you locate the principal? The planes on which shear stress, okay, that is the tangential stress, is zero, vanish. It's called principal plane. No, are known as principal planes. And the stresses acting on the principal planes are known as principal stresses. Just what I told you, right? So how do you get it? We know in order to locate principal plane, equating the shear stress to zero. The transformation in sigma t is there, no? This should be equated to zero. So this should be equated to zero in order to locate the principal plane. So sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 sin 2 theta minus tau xy cos theta is equal to 0. That is sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 sin 2 theta is equal to tau xy cos 2 theta. Therefore, from this I am getting this cos 2 theta I am bringing here. Sin 2 theta by cos 2 theta is equal to tau xy divided by sigma 1 minus sigma 2 divided by 2. That is equal to 2 tau xy divided by sigma 1 minus sigma x minus sigma y. Therefore, this is nothing but tan 2 theta. Tan 2 theta is equal to 2 tau xy divided by sigma x minus sigma y. Here I want to point out, instead of simply writing tan 2 theta, you can write tan 2 theta suffix p also you can put. Why theta p? That is the principal plane. Okay, because the location of principal plane, no, this angle denotes the principal plane angle here. Okay, so tan 2 theta suffix p you can use is equal to 2 tau xy, 2 tau suffix xy, okay, divided by sigma suffix x minus sigma suffix y. Put it in a box. Using this expression, you can locate the principal plane, both major and, because tan theta value will be having two angles, okay, two angle values. One is for major principal plane, another one is for minor location of minor principal plane. Okay, yeah, always you will be having two things. This should be put it in a box. Tan 2 theta suffix p is equal to 2 tau xy divided by sigma x minus sigma y. Put it in a box. Okay, this is the location of principal plane. Next, what is discussed here? Angle, triangle. Yeah, what is discussed? Another one is the magnitude of the principal plane. Okay, how to determine magnitude of the principal plane? Right. To do that, yeah. From this discussion, some more discussion is done. I want to rewrite. I want to derive an expression for principal stress straight away. Now I have located principal plane. I have transformation equation. I am interested in determining what will be the value of principal stresses. What will be the expression for principal stresses that I want to determine from the transformation equation. In my transformation equation, what is there? Sin 2 theta, cos 2 theta, and all that in my transformation. In my transformation equation, what is there? Cos 2 theta, sin 2 theta, theta variable. No, it's varies. Sin 2 theta, cos 2 theta are there. Now I don't know the theta value for principal stress. The theta value for principal stress is theta suffix p. Okay, that I have got it here. From this tan 2 theta p value, I want to determine what is cos 2 theta p value, what is sin 2 theta p value. I want to determine. To do that, what I am doing the further discussion here. Okay, so from tan 2 theta p, I am writing. I have drawn a right angle triangle here. This is 2 theta p. This angle is 2 theta suffix p. Okay, the opposite side is 2 tau xy. This one 2 tau xy. That is sigma x minus sigma y. Okay, so this gives you, this triangle gives me tan 2 theta p equal to opposite side divided by adjacent side 2 tau xy divided by sigma x minus sigma y. This expression I am getting. Okay, with reference to this figure, I am determining what is the value of cos theta and sin theta. Here, what is this hypotenuse value? It is given here. Hypotenuse value is plus or minus root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 whole square plus 2 tau xy whole square. This one. Okay, this is equal to root of this square plus this square, isn't it? Pythagoras theorem. So using that, it is determined. Okay, but it can be plus or minus. That remember, because a square is there, right? Because I can write this side also. I can extend it. The triangle can be plotted this side also. Accordingly, you will be getting plus or minus sign here. Okay, plus or minus. Separately they have written. Actually, this is right. With this, you can stop it. Okay, so the diagonal, okay, hypotenuse here. Okay, this hypotenuse value is plus or minus root of sigma x minus sigma y whole square plus 4 tau xy square. Okay, how I got? By root of square of this plus square of this. I got this, right? Good. Now I am writing. Therefore, what is sin theta? Sin theta is equal to opposite side divided by hypotenuse 2 tau xy divided by root of sigma 1 minus sigma sigma x minus sigma y whole square plus 4 tau xy whole square. What is cos 2 theta? Cos 2 theta, that is sin 2 theta p, cos 2 theta p, okay, is equal to adjacent side sigma x minus sigma y divided by this one, okay, sigma x minus sigma y whole square plus 4 tau xy square. This hypotenuse value will determine, no, that is written here. Okay, this is also plus or minus. You are supposed to put plus or minus everywhere, right? Everywhere plus or minus is there. Now I am writing this major principal plane. Now therefore the major principal stress, now you have to use the notation sigma 1. Please remember, major principal stress. So the major principal stress, to represent major principal stress value, we are using the notation sigma suffix 1. Okay, sigma suffix 1. You can write major and minor principal stresses, plural you can write, and you can write sigma suffix 1 comma 2. Please, all of you listen carefully. Here you can write, in your notes you write major and minor principal stresses values are sigma suffix 1 comma 2 is equal to, means sigma 1, sigma 2, both I am writing. Sigma x plus sigma 2 divided by 2 plus or minus, you have to write it here, plus or minus sigma x minus sigma 2 divided by 2 plus cos 2 theta suffix p plus or minus here also tau xy sin 2 theta p. Okay, now you, because why, okay, later you can put, now I'm sorry, first you put plus here, the cos theta p value, sin theta p value will be substituted, you know, there you put plus or minus. Okay, this is the expression already we have. In that, substitute this value, this cos theta p value, because now you want to determine major principal stresses, na, the theta value will be theta suffix p value. Theta value will be theta suffix p value. Okay. Now you substitute cos theta p value, which you got here in this. That becomes plus or minus. Don't write separately as shown in the textbook. Write it as a single expression for both major and minor principal stress. Okay. So it will be, whether, don't say it confuses you, because minor case it is written separately. That is why. In case 2, they have put a minus case, they discussed separately. This case I am discussing along with this, easy. Okay, both I am just merged. I merged this case with that one. That's what is equal to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus or minus. Now the plus or minus which is are there before this cos theta p sin theta value will become here. Okay, or it will be here plus or minus 1 by 2 into this by this. Okay, plus or minus 2 tau xy. 2 tau xy square divided by this. It is written in a modified manner. Okay, rearranged manner, or modified manner. By rearranging the terms, it will be. Is it necessary for me to explain what they have done? They have taken half out. Half out means what? 1 by 2 is taken out. Here 1 by 2 is there already. Here, if you want to take 1 by 2 out, what to do? This will sigma 1 minus sigma 2 divided by 2 whole square plus 2 tau xy square. It will be, this become, diameter becomes. Let us see something they have done. Let us see these steps. Right. This way, it is taken out. Later, in my notes, it is clearly there. Otherwise, in the board, if I am doing it, I can explain you clearly. It is just, okay, that is equal to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus this 1 by 2 already is there. Okay. Now this is written, this is LCM. The LCM is taken here. All right. Now the LCM is taken as 2 root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2, sorry, sigma x minus sigma y whole square plus 4 tau x square is the LCM, and accordingly you are getting the numerator. Okay. Here you have to multiply with the 2. That's why 4 tau xy square. Here the same denominator is there. That is why same sigma 1 minus sigma 2 whole square is there. Okay. If you simplify further, it will become to this form. This step can be written very easily. In my notes, I have clear notes of it. Here, please, you have to apply your mind and see how do you get these steps. That's easy only. Just now I am telling. Okay. It is differently rearranged. I have done a different way in my notes. No problem. Finally, ultimately, you will be getting this expression. Now, please, all of you remember the expression this way. I am. You did not discuss sign case with negative sign. Both the positive and negative sign together you can write down here. So you have to write sigma 1 comma 2. Sigma suffix 1 comma 2 means sigma 1, sigma 2. That is the meaning. Sigma 1 separately. Sigma 1 you are taking, you have to take plus sign. Sigma 2 you are doing, you have to take minus sign here. Sigma suffix 1 comma 2 is equal to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus or minus root of sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 whole square plus tau xy square. Finally, the expression will be in this form. Expression for principal stresses, magnitude of principal stresses. Straight away, you can compute the magnitude of principal stresses from the given stress. The given stress is a normal and tangential stresses to you in a plane. Okay, in a strained body at a point, the normal and tangential stresses acting in a plane are given, whose values are sigma x, sigma y, and tau xy. These values are given. You can straight away determine the magnitude of the principal stress and major principal stress value and minor principal stress value using this expression. What it is? Sigma 1 comma 2 is equal to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus or minus. Why I am telling plus or minus? This I am just merged with this. The sign case I am merged with this. Okay. Plus or minus root of sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 whole square plus tau x y whole square. Okay. If you want to get sigma 1 is equal to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus root of this one. You have to take plus sign. If you want to determine minor principal stress value, sigma 2 is equal to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 minus you have to take minus value. Root of sigma x plus minus sigma y whole divided by 2 whole square plus tau x square. Likewise, you have to compute. Please don't get confused with this notation, which I am trying level best to explain, because whatever I have told you is of international standard. IIT and NIT, they used to teach the manner in which the notation which I adopted just now. Nobody will use this because it's local author book, Bansal book. Although it's a good book, mistakenly I used the sigma 1. Normally, international standard, sigma 1 and sigma 2 are used to represent principal stresses. Sigma x and sigma y value of given stress, okay, on any other, okay. The sign case it is given here. See, sigma 2 is equal to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 minus, they are added minus sign, root of sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 whole square plus tau x square. So this one, okay. Now how I will do in the class, I will do this two case 1 and 2 merged manner, okay. For that, what to do? You have to write down this tan value, this cos 2 theta, sin 2 theta value with the plus or minus sign here. Automatically it will be taken care, okay. Everywhere you have to substitute plus or minus in this discussion. Okay, finally you will be getting plus or minus here. Only thing is you have to write sigma 1 comma 2. So case 1 and 2 merged manner you can write down, right? So actually after this class we have this orientation program for MTech degree course, okay. So I will do one thing. I have to attend that meeting at 10:30. Now time is 10:27. I will stop this, okay. I will stop at this level here. Later you go through. This is the figure nicely given. Okay, it represents, this figure nicely explains, this is the given plane. Please all of you listen here. Everything at a point in a strained body only. This is the given plane which has sigma x. I already told you to adopt sigma x here. And tau xy here. Sigma y here, tau xy here, okay. This is another plane, okay. Theta, suffix p, you are supposed to use here. This is the theta. This is the angle made by this one with the given plane, theta. Okay. From this, this is the angle made by that one. With this one is the theta p. This angle is theta p here, okay. Right. So this is the principal plane direction. Major principal plane, minor principal plane, okay. The stress acting on it. Still the discussion continues, not yet over. Again, maximum shear stress. Okay, I will continue it in the next class. Afterwards, followed by problems in this. Okay, it's very interesting. After completing this, I will go to teach you analysis of principal strains, because this is, strictly speaking, should have studied last semester. Okay, analysis of principal strain. I will. Okay, the HOD is calling me. Phone will coming. I have to participate in the orientation program today. Okay, I will stop with this. I will record your name for attendance. Okay, I will record your name for attendance. My landline is, I think HOD is calling me, the landline. Okay, I will just record your name for attendance. I have recorded your name for attendance. Right, with this I will stop for today class, right? Right, first I have to stop recording, no? Stop recording. Okay, bye to all of you, bye.